What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with the brand new season of Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 4, Episode 1. This episode is titled I Don't D-I-E Easy, you guys. Unfortunately, that was true for one person in this mess. But before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Power Book 2 Ghost, shall we, you guys? Now, you guys know that this season is split up into two parts, kind of like how the original Power series finale was. We got the first half in the summer of that year, and then we came back towards like December or so, and we wrapped it up. So you guys know we're starting it now in June, and it's gonna end, I forget how many, we don't have that many episodes right now, but then we'll come back in September and wrap it up. And you know, initially when they revealed that this would be the final season of Power, I felt the way about it, but I'm cool with it now, you guys, because we still have book 3. That's going to go on for a little bit longer. Then we have the prequel to Power that's coming pretty soon, and then we have book 4, Force, with Tommy. So I'm cool with it. I hope the ratings are good with this. You know, maybe they can say, hey, since the ratings are so well, let's give them another season. But, you know, I'm not holding my breath. Now, we'll start this episode up, and we will start with Tariq, you guys. I think that's where I want to start up with. So we see Tariq and Brayden, right? You guys remember when the season ended last season, everybody had flipped on Tariq and Brayden, and they were getting ready to take Tariq out, right? And Brayden came through, pop, 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 just popping niggas, right? And even popped Kane, right? We'll get to that in a little bit. So Tariq, he and Brayden, they were able to get away, and they took Brayden's car, and so they covered Brayden's car up. And now, you know, Tariq is like, you know, Monet is against me. That bitch, that snake bitch Effie. I was like, Tariq, Tariq, nigga, we been telling you Effie was a fucking snake since Choke. But okay, whatever, right? So they went to the storage unit, and so Brayden was like, so what you got in here? Like, you got money. Tariq ain't got no money enough, but what Tariq do got is some guns, and he was ready to go. I was like, oh, so this little nigga been preparing. Cool. Let's see what we do, right? So Tariq tells Brayden that he still wants to keep eyes on Noma's daughter, right? So Tariq got a phone call from Pinky, and, you know, Pinky told Tariq, like, yo, she on the move, and I ain't gonna be able to keep up with her for very much longer, so you need to figure out what you want to do before she's gone, right? So then we see after Tariq and Brayden went to like this airplane hangar, right? And so what happened is they had Noma's daughter in the back of a car, and so Tariq and Brayden saw that there was a bunch of people surrounding her, so they were like, fuck, like how we gonna get to her? So they saw a car. Now I don't know how the hell they did that with that car. I guess they must have put something down because the car was just driving, but wasn't nobody in the car. So Noma's dudes are just pop, 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 just blasting the car. And I was like, oh, I hope Tariq and Brayden are not in that car, because if they are unalived at this point, right? They are deceased. But then we see as boom, 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 as dude after dude getting taken down. I was like, oh, Tariq. Okay, you know, in the original Power, you got on my last damn nerves, but I do rock with Tariq in this one, right? But with him and Brayden, they were a little bit too late, because when they started taking the dudes out, they got Noma's daughter away in the car, so Tariq and Brayden were not able to get to her. So then we move over, so we see Brayden. So Brayden, at one point, they got a call from Drew and Diana, right? And Drew has Becca. So Brayden is like, I need to go after Becca. And Tariq was like, wait a minute, we gotta figure out a plan. Like, this could be a setup. Brayden said, fuck that, and hopped in that car and skirt. drove off, right? So Tariq called up Davis, and to tell Davis like, yo, everybody's basically working against me at this point. And Davis told him like, yo, little nigga, I can't help you right now, because Davis has his own issues that he has to worry about. Because now, did y'all see Davis in that shower with them two women? I was like, okay, Davis. What I will say about Method Man, he, what Meth is like, what, in his 50s, and he still has a great body. Look damn good he looks good, right? So Davis told Tariq that he's having issues with his law license, so he got a letter from the bar. I was like, are they trying to disbar you? I mean, shit, let's just be real about Davis. They should have been disbarred Davis's ass, because Davis is a shady ass attorney, right? But we all remember that stuff that happened last season with Sachs, which really should have been on Sachs, but it is what it is. So we then, what happened with Braden and Tariq. So remember, I was telling you guys that Drew them called him, right, and told them where to meet at Pier 90, I believe that's what it was. So at one point, I'll get to Diana and Drew them in a few minutes, but at one point, Drew put Diana out the car. I'll tell you guys what happened with that in a little bit. So it's just Drew and Becca in the car. And Becca at this point is kind of like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, let me call my dad. He's like, no, Braden don't want you to call your dad. So we're like, well, let me call Braden. And then, Drew reaching, give me the goddamn phone. Give me the fucking phone. I was like, Drew, ain't you wounded? Because the last time, Drew done been wounded so many times. I can't remember. I can't keep up with how many times Drew has been popped by somebody, right? But she got some a pepper spray, and sprayed the shit out of Drew. I was like, oh, I know that's right, girl. I know that's the fuck, right? So when she did that, she got out the car and took off running. And so Braden was driving down the pier, and he ran into Becca. So they started running. And then Drew, with his blinded ass, driving through. I was like, Drew, now what the fuck can you see? But at one point, Drew took his gun and was about to shoot them, and boom! Tariq just slammed right into Drew's car. I was like, fuck, nigga, I know you hurting. Like, I know Drew was in pain. So then we move over and we hear Davis on the phone, and Davis is having a conversation with someone about his license and basically saying like, all this shit is because of Sachs. True, it is because of Sachs, but Davis, you're also a shady ass lawyer as well. So then we see Noma and Obi come into his penthouse. I was like, ooh, fuck. Davis, thankfully Davis heard it and he got his gun and he had it pointed at Noma and Obi. So Noma's whole thing is that she wants Tariq and Braden, right? And, Davis told her, no, like, I'm not going to give the little nigga up. I was like, wow. And she even offered him $100,000 each. So that's $200,000. And I was like, Davis, you turned down $200,000 for Tariq? I'm sorry. I would have said fuck Tariq and fuck Braden, because babe, I would have sold them niggas up the creek without a paddle to row with. I would have gave them Noma. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I would have gave them up to Noma. Now we get back over to Braden. Braden took Becca home to his family. Baby, the Westons. Now we knew that Uncle Lucas was racist. Well, the goddamn daddy ain't too. Oh, that is right. Because remember, last season, the reason why Tate was able to do what he did is because he found that one of their family friends was racist because he went in blackface. So the apple don't fall far from the tree. But Braden's daddy was like, those thugs came here and beat up your brother. We don't give a fuck about Trace. Let's just be real about that. We don't care about Trace. Then his daddy had the unmitigated gall and audacity to call them jungle bunnies, and he called Braden a white monkey. I was like, well, you motherfucker, you just let the racism just slip right out your mouth. We knew you were racist, but my God, today, motherfucker. You know what? Kane, go back and fuck these niggas up. Like, go back and fuck those niggas up. So they left, right? And Davis called Tariq to let him know, like, yo, Noma was just in my apartment, and the bitch got a bounty out on you and Braden, and it's $100,000 each for both of y'all his, right? So he was like, do you got any money? Because like, you need to get your ass the fuck out of town. And Tariq was like, I got some at Stansfield, so I'm gonna go up there. So then he and Braden was like, so he told Braden, like, we need to go to Stansfield. There's some money up there. And he apologized to Braden for getting him involved in this. And I was like, well, Tariq, you really didn't get Braden that involved because Braden was a willing participant. So yeah, don't apologize to Braden. So while they're at Stansfield, we see as Tariq got the money that he needed, but he also got a text message from Effie letting him know that Kane is at the school to take him out, right? So Tariq and Brady was like, let's make a run for it. And so they did make a run for it, and Angela's fucking nephew. You know what, you guys, when it comes to Angela's nephew, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause here and we're gonna move over to talking about how that motherfucker got involved in this shit in this episode. Grand opening, grand closing. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. Now, speaking of Angela's nephew, let's talk about that dumb food real quick. So, to be honest with you guys, I forgot all about belonging around the ring. I was like, oh my God, this bitch. When that bitch came on my screen, I was like, fuck, I forgot about this hoe. So, Agent Young, Angela's nephew, which a lot of people speculated last season, and I remember my comments where people were like, they think that he was probably Ghost and Angela's son. I can see that, but I don't see Angela as much as I hated that woman, and I hated Angela with a passion. When Angela and Jamie got back together, if she had a child with him, I believe she would have told him, because you guys remember they were supposed to run off together before Tommy ended up taking that bitch out, right? I think she would have told him at that point, but I don't know if I believe that theory, you guys. But well, hell, we probably won't know now, shit, because he is swimming with the fishes. So Blanca was talking to him and basically telling him like to give this up because Tariq St. Patrick just curb stomped our asses. He sure did, right? And then she said that Jenny is gone. I was like, thank good Lord that Jenny is gone. Because that bitch was like a dog with the bone. Now, he found Sax's flash drive, right? And so he wants to use this to his advantage because there's some things on there that he knows about. And you guys remember last season, the reason why Obi helped Tariq and Braden in that final episode was because of him getting Tariq and Tate helping him get those green cards, right? But he doesn't have anything to really go on at this point. It's just kind of circumstantial evidence, right? So she told him that the case is over. So then we see him as he's talking to his mama Paz, right? And he's telling her about getting his case off the ground. And then he was telling her, she was like, so you don't really have anything, because he's talking about trying to get somebody to flip. And so then he mentioned Tariq's name, and she was like, St. Patrick. She was like, that was basically your aunt's downfall. And it sure was. Baby, I will never forget when Ghost told Tasha that he just lost the love of his life. Baby, if I was Tasha, I would have slapped that nigga. But you know what? He yoked her up, so never mind. Look. So then we see this fool, and he went to Stansfield looking for Tariq, right? So he walks up to this little white girl and asks her about Tariq. And she was about to say something until brown skin Keisha was like, hold up, bitch. We don't talk to the cops. He was like, I'm not a cop. She was like, everything about you screams cop. And so he left, right? And then that's when Kane and Effie came up. And so she asked Effie, like, is Tariq in some shit? And because she was like, the cops were looking for him, but I didn't tell them that he's on the campus. I was like, well, you just told the enemy that he's on the campus. And so Effie and Kane went looking for Tariq. And that's when Effie texted him, which I'm still looking at Effie with the side eyes like, girl, you over here sleeping with Kane. Kane has a huge vendetta against Tariq. And you helping Tariq? Okay, girl, if that's what suits you, cool. So while they're walking through the campus, Noma sent out this alert to everybody to let them know that there is $100,000 bounty on both Tariq and both Braden, right? So Kane is like, shit, we take out that nigga, we take out both them niggas, we get the $200,000 each for both of them. Now, moving back over to Tariq real quick. So you guys remember I told you that when Tariq, he was walking through the parking garage, right? So Angela's nephew stopped him and tried to broker some kind of a deal with him. And Tariq is a lot of things. He's much like his dad. He's not stupid, right? Because Tariq was like, if he had anything, he would have come with a fucking warrant, but he doesn't have one, right? So a shootout ensues between Paz's son and this guy that's trying to take out Tariq and Braden, right? So eventually, Paz's son takes out the other guy, and so Tariq and Braden, boom, pistol whipped him and knocked him down, and ultimately, Tariq just pew took out Paz's son, Angela's nephew, right? Because he called Noma to make a deal with Noma because he told Noma what all he has. And Noma didn't want to make the deal with him. He was like, but she did say, she put it on mute and told Obi, like, once the dust settles, I want everyone that he loves, him and everyone he loves, wiped off the face of the earth, right? So she said, cool, you got to choose, because Obi told her, like, you might want to give into this deal. But really and truly what it is with Obi, I think Obi is really looking out for Tariq, but he's still trying to be loyal to, he's being loyal to Noma, but he's actually really looking out for Tariq. And actually he's looking out for himself at the same time, right? Because he's the one who let Braden into that warehouse and helped Tariq, right? So that's that. Then after that, we see as Braden went to call the campus police to let them know about the shooting in the parking garage. And so Tariq was talking to the police, letting them know what happened, right? Making it like it was kind of like he was he saw something happen, so he came to the defense of the cop, right? Now, before he spoke to the police, we saw as him and Kane saw each other, so he took off running. And so he called up Drew's raggedy ass and told Drew, like, yo, Kane saw me. He's chasing me. If you don't want Monet to know what you and Diana was up to, you call this nigga and tell him to leave me the fuck alone. Or else if he catches up to me, I'm gonna tell him everything I know. Drew's like, don't you fucking do that. I was like, Drew, now who the fuck are you scaring? Like, Drew, of all of Monet, well, no, actually, let's see, if we would rank Monet's kids, who I think is more dangerous. Well, I think they're all dangerous. Let's just be real, because that bitch Monet is their mama, right? But if I had to rank them kids on who I think is more dangerous, Kane is not dangerous. Kane is just a fucking hothead. That's the problem with Kane. Drew is sensible. But then you got Diana, who is sneaky as hell. Actually, if I were to put a list who I couldn't trust out of them who I couldn't trust and I would be worried most about, Diana is at the top of that list. Cause like I said, that's a little sneaky bitch. That little bitch is sneaky. Then you got Drew. And then you got Kane. You can outsmart Kane. And that's as much as Monet gets on my nerves and I can't stand her. She's always right about Kane, because Kane is stupid. He's not stupid, but he's irrational. I think that's the better thing I would say with Kane. Kane is so irrational. But let's pause here and wrap up the episode, you guys. Now, wrapping up the episode, we see Obi. Remember, I told you guys a few minutes ago that which we knew this from the end of the last season, that Obi was the one who let Braden into the warehouse to help Tariq, right? Well, two other guys know that it was Obi, and baby, Obi didn't waste no time in popping them. Noma came and asked them, like, yo, what's going on? Obi, what I will say about Obi is he's quick on his feet, because baby, I wouldn't have been that quick. I wouldn't have been that quick to tell her. I probably would have said, those two were the ones that let Braden in, which I think that's essentially what he said, right? So Yeah, that's exactly what he said. So then Kane, like I remember, Kane was shot, right? But all Kane is managing to think about is Tariq. And I'm like, my God, fool, you are bleeding out. And you are still sitting here worried about Tariq. Like, Kane is he has a one track mind. So Noma is telling Drew and Diana that she wants Tariq taken out today, right? Because he knows too much about her and she wants for them to find a weak spot for him. Noma, you know Tariq's weak spot. It's Tasha and it's Yaz and it's Big Mama. That's Tariq's weak spot. If you can find them, you got Tariq by the cojones. But it is what it is, right? So then she also told Effie, like, you can take not Drew, but Kane to the apartment and there'll be a doctor there to patch him up. But I want your ass out there too with them motherfuckers trying to figure out how to get to Tariq. I was like, I would just love for somebody to take you out too, Noma. Because I don't like you that much either, right? But you scare me. So that's something else. Because Noma scares me. After that bitch chopped that woman's hand off last season. And it was the first episode when that woman had that ring on her finger and that bitch chopped it off. I was like, oh, this bitch ain't want to fuck with. Girl, fuck with Monet. We gonna talk about that raggedy. We gonna talk about Monet in a minute. So we see Kane and Effie. They in a car, right? Kane is being hella rude to Effie, talking about you driving too slow. Nigga, I ain't the one that got shot. And I mean, unless you want me to, like, I can speed through the streets of New York. I can do that, but I'm pretty positive we're gonna get pulled over by the cops. And then we gotta explain why you bleeding. And Kane, again, like I said, Kane doesn't think because, dude, you have had so many run-ins with okay, Kane, whatever. What the hell ever. So what happened next was, so they were driving and he wanted her to stop because he was gonna go to the Westons and she was like, don't do that, Kane. But Kane got out of the car and walked to the Westons house. I was like, ain't that about a dumb man? What the fuck? Now, Effie did let Kane know that she knows that it was him that put that phone in there to warn her when she was in lockup, right? And she said, thank you. So then we move over to Monet. So Monet is in surgery, and I was like, let this dusty, raggedy hoe just expire. So Monet is watching herself while she's watching herself while she's in surgery. Hold on, you guys. I gotta pause this. All right, you guys. My bad. We back. So we were talking about, and I don't even remember where the hell we were in these dang on notes. But I think it was, we were talking about Monet's old dusty, raggedy ass. So Monet was in surgery watching herself have surgery, right? And she was joined by her baby daddies, Lorenzo and Dante. And I was like, ooh, bitch, you going to hell. I was just looking like, you going to hell, you bitch. So they told her she is dying and they got a front row seat to it. And she said, fuck both of y'all. I was like, damn, even on your way out this earth, you still a mean ass, rude ass old bitch. Like, I can't stand Monet's ass. Like, she said she didn't want life with them and she don't want hell with them. I was like, well, baby girl, you might not have a choice, right? So then we see Diana. So Diana is talking to Drew and telling Drew that Monet is in surgery and that they'll keep them updated, right? So Drew says that when Monet wakes up, she's gonna ask questions and they are done if she finds out the truth. So Drew wants to go after Tariq. And so then we see these two ass clowns. Becca comes into the room, and so they were like, well, why don't we just kidnap this bitch? And so that way we can get Braden to come pick her up, get her. And when Braden comes to get his sister, we just take Tariq. And I was like, oh, is that the plan that y'all want to go with? Okay, I mean, I guess, right? Cool. So then we see Noma. So Noma was pissed off and she was mad because you remember, I just told you guys earlier that Tariq then was able to get to her daughter just barely. So her daughter comes to her apartment and her daughter was pissed off because, like, bitch, you told me I was going out the country, but now you got me here. I was like, what a ray of sunshine, just like a fucking mama. So Obi was talking to Noma at one point, right? And Obi was telling Noma, like, when it comes down to this whole situation, he'll help her with it. And she told him, use the head that is useful. I was like, well, damn, bitch. So that's when she put out the bounty on Tariq and Braden for $100K each, right? Now we see as Kane went over to the Weston's crib, knocked on the door, and as soon as Trace opened the door, pop, just hit him, started pistol whipping him. I was like, you know what? Part of me is like, this ain't right. But then the other part of me is like, I don't give a damn. It's Trace we're talking about, right? So slap him around, knock him around, and whatever you got to do, right? So Effie eventually came to the door and was telling Kane, like, they don't know where Braden and Tariq are. Do you know where Braden and Tariq are? And the daddy was like, nope. She was like, so they can't help us with shit, so let's get the fuck out of here. Because the daddy had called the police. He said, if you get out of here, I won't tell them anything, right? So then we see, so this is the point where Drew called Braden, told Braden where to meet them at, right? So we've already discussed that. So while they're in the car, Diana called to check on Monet. Diana told them, well, they told Diana that Monet is touch and go, right? She's having complications. So Diana wants to get to the hospital, and Drew's like, if you want to get to the fucking hospital, get a damn cab. I was like, Drew, at the end of the day, we all know that Monet is trash, right? Monet is a trash ass human being, but that's still your mama, nigga. Like, damn. Your mama? Fuck your mama? Okay. Fuck your mama. Fuck your mama. But whatever, right? So then we see Monet. Next up, she's visited by none other than Zeke. I was like, oh God, even in death, Zeke is stupid. Now at this point, Monet is flatlining, and she was flatlining, and I was like, girl. I was with Lorenzo and with Dante when they told her she don't give a fuck about them kids. I was like, she ain't never gave a damn about them kids. Look at the way she talks to Drew, Diana, and Kane, and look at the way what she did with Zeke. Zeke was her son. Zeke didn't, which I still ain't gonna let them live that down. Then Zeke was supposed to be 8 years old in the kindergarten. Oh shit, you guys, I will never forget over that. I would never get over that. So we found out that the bitch survived. I was like, damn. But she was in a coma. So Diana was at the hospital. Drew told her if the bitch wakes up to smother her with a pillow. I was like, damn, y'all just, because he told her Tariq had reached out to him and told him that if Monet comes to, he gonna tell her everything. So the easiest way to nip this in the bud is if they take her out now. I was like, damn. Again, I don't like Monet, but damn, y'all just really don't give a fuck about this lady. But she don't give a fuck about them either. So let's just keep it real with each other, right? So at this point, he told her that both Drew and Becca got away, right? And then we see this fool as he steals somebody's car. I was like, Drew, that's so stupid. But okay, whatever. So then we see Kane. So Kane got a text from Noma. Now this is after Tariq had made the deal with Noma, and Noma told everybody to stand down. Kane's hot-headed ass was like, fuck that text. I'm just gonna act like I didn't see it. Okay, so Kane, you see how big and bad and scary Noma is. What if this crazy lady asks you for your phone? You gonna delete the text message thread? Okay, Kane, whatever. I don't get Kane sometimes, right? So Drew found Kane and told Kane, like, you need to stand down. Because Diana said that she got it wrong, that Tariq wasn't the one that shot. So he's like, so what is it, another skinny little big head ass nigga? Well, technically, Diana didn't see it. Diana and Drew are covering their ass. Because we all know who shot Monet and shot at them. It was Tasha. But, okay. So Drew was like, well, you'll find out once we get to the hospital because Ma's awake. And I was like, fuck that lady got it. Damn. Why don't Monet just go to hell where she belongs? So they get to the hospital, right? And Monet is awake and asking them who shot her. And they were like, we don't know. So she's like, I want y'all to find out. and she still, and Monet is still a bitch. Girl, I've been trying my hardest not to call that woman so many bitches, but she's a bitch, right? And then at the end of the episode, you guys, which I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did miss anything, but at the end of the episode, I was so confused by this scene. But I do know that we got some new characters this season, and I think that they're pretty much all feds, right? Because Michael Ealy, he's joining the cast, and we know that Golden Brooks is joining the cast, and I think both Michael Ealy and Golden Brooks characters are feds, right? So Michael Ealy's character, whose name I think his name is Agent Carter. So we see him as he's at confessional. So I'm assuming he's Catholic, right? And his wife was just, she was murdered, right? That's what he said. And he has anger. So then at the end of it, we saw as Agent Carter was talking to Paz, and so he's talking about he gonna help her find out who took out her son. Well, girl, good luck with that one. Because the feds, oh God, I just hope that Michael Ealy's character and Golden Brooks' characters don't annoy the fuck out of us. That is all I gotta say is I hope that they don't annoy the shit out of us. That was episode 1, you guys. Overall, a really good first episode. I enjoyed it, you guys. I was sitting there like, okay, we back with power. I was like, yes, this is what I live for. I miss power. Because you guys know I don't watch BMF. But yeah, we back for power, you guys. We are back for power. I'm here for it. Like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands and be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.